Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY Dreaming, and on this video tutorial we're going to make two beautiful flower signs that are 2 or 3D. They're going to have flowers that we're going to make that we're going to put over the top of the flowers that are in the designs. So it's really cool. I'm totally loving my color scheme here. I'll tell you all about it. We'll actually start from start to finish on the other one. And I have some new and different DIY flowers to show you. So it should be really good. As you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions. And at the very end, if you want links to either one of these stencils or the chalk paste or the actual surfaces, just let me know. So I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of where we're going with this one, and then we'll come back to it in just a second. And then we're gonna be working on this one. Okay, so this particular board right here started its life just as this, I think it's 24 inches by 13.75. It's a cutting board shape. It's made out of MDF. It's from magnoliadiy.com. Okay, then I used some blue tape and 2 different colors of paint. They're both this Waverly acrylic chalk paint that I love so much from Walmart. This one is white, and this one is this really awesome green. I am in a green mood lately, I guess, because I'm loving green. This is called Fern. All right, so I painted 2 coats of white and 2 coats of green, and this is what it looks like. I opted to have my handle kind of go off to the side, and you'll see why in a minute. It could go this way as well. All right, and then I gave it a quick sanding with some very fine sandpaper, and I sprayed it outside with 1 coat of clear matte sealer just to close down the pores of the wood, even though it's painted, so that it will take a stencil and have a pretty good result. And it was this stencil right here, which is new. This was the first time I used it. It's amazing, you guys. Look at the watering can. Just the detail on that is stunning. I'm gonna make some tea towels and maybe a pillow and maybe a tote bag, a whole bunch of different things with this stencil in the future. So this was just my first time using it, and I just used plain old black chalk paste and a squeegee, and it's fully dry. Okay, and then I gave it 1 more quick coat of this clear matte sealer spray, Rust-Oleum brand. I get mine at Walmart under $5, and it lasts forever. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, and we're gonna doll it up with some flowers. I'm gonna show you how to make some different flowers, and we're gonna glue them on. Okay, and let's start with the handle. I want to just wrap some of this jute or twine around it a few times, just to get some interest going here. All right, and then I'm just going to cut it and put a little bow on it for right now. I'll probably fiddle around like that and change it to something different. Okay, and before I came live, I was busy fiddling around with flowers, which are my favorite thing. So I'm going to show you how to make a couple of new style of flowers, and most of the ones that I have going on here start with this. This is burlap ribbon. It's not wired. And honestly, I cannot, for the life of me, remember where I got it. But I will tell you how wide it is. It is 1.5 inches wide. So we're gonna do those pulled string loopy flowers with this. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And I have a whole bunch of doodads that we're gonna be playing with. It's gonna be really fun. So if you have never made these pulled string burlap flowers, let me show you what the basics are. I'm just gonna pull a couple of these ends off. So I have these exposed long pieces, and I just like to use some type of tweezers or pliers or something to grab the strings. It makes it easier to pull them. You're starting in the center and you're just pulling these strings out. Don't throw your strings away, because you can do other projects like make tassels, make bows, all kinds of fun things with the strings. So I'm just going to pull the inside headed out to the outside, and I'll leave a couple of rows on the very outside that I don't pull the strings out of. Can you see what I'm doing? These are just some jewelry pliers. They work great. So I showed you guys this project, the start of this project yesterday, when I was having a, sometimes you just don't feel exactly inspired. And I always want my projects to be so over the top wonderful for you guys that I just couldn't get going. So I slept on it. And I have 3 rows or so on either side. And then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna glue those 2 sides together. I'm using my low temperature hot glue gun from Sure Bonder, because you're gonna for sure get glue on your fingers. And this, just gluing the edge together, basically, so we've got a loop. Can you see what I've got going on here? Sometimes you're gonna have some of these that wanna pull out as you're going along. That's okay. Okay, it's not perfect, but this works just fine. Let's see, let me glue this down right here a little better. Okay, moving these all over to the side. Okay, so basically I have a tube. All right, so some of my projects I did using my punches. These are various punches that I have collected from Hobby Lobby. You can get them at other craft stores. This is 3 inches, and I think this is 2.5 inches, and this is 3 inches. These punches from Hobby Lobby don't have any brand. I think they are the store brand. And I picked them up when they were on sale. Okay, and this is just a natural colored envelope that I'm gonna use. Works just fine. Okay, this is what I've got. Then I'm gonna show you how to make this one. So this is that punch. And I'm gonna put a little bit of glue kind of in a circle. And I'm gonna bend my, oops, I need to come in a little bit. I'm bending my piece of pulled string burlap around in a circle. I'm pushing it into the glue. This is just a little variation on what I normally do with this idea. I have another one to show you too. Okay, so now I have it bent around, and I'm going to clip off the excess because we'll use this in just a minute. And I'm just gonna pop a button in the center. And I was just playing with some different green buttons that I had. I'll show you, I have a big variety. Not a ton of green for some reason. Green is, I guess, not a button color that's super popular. But I'm gonna use, this big one. Okay, and I'm just gonna put a blob of glue in the center and push my button down into it. And dun, 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 there is a flower. Okay, so that was one. These are the two that I have that look like this. There's gonna be glue strings everywhere. Hey Maureen, hi Dora, hey Vivian. If your punches get dull, punch aluminum foil, then wax paper, and that makes them sharp again. That's one of what, let me see who said that. Annette told me that. Great tip, thank you. Okay, so that's one idea. Another thing you can do is you can do this little flower around the back of a button. And for this one, I have one of these buttons that has a little head on it. We're just gonna use what's left over of this. And I'm going to start bending it around the shank, is what that's called, of this button. Just take your time and just force it into the glue. What I was looking for in doing this was getting some flowers that were green. I messed that one up just a little bit, but it's okay. We can camouflage it. Okay, so that's the same as this one. And then another idea you can do, I'm sure you guys have seen these. Little, they're laser cut wood flowers. These came, I think, from the dollar store in Canada, or maybe from Dollar Tree, I can't remember. But they have this kind of thing all the time. So, let's see, which ones do I have already? Let's do this. Okay, so I'm just going to glue a little button in the center of this. And there we have another flower that has a green theme. All right, and so I have a bunch of buttons here with green that are all ready to go. I see it out of the way. Okay, and let's attach them to our sign. So we're going to create some dimension simply by putting buttons over the top of where the flowers are. You could alternatively, you could stencil it in a different color. You could paint that in. There's a lot of different things that you could do. And I just wanted to do something that involved flowers today. Is that a big surprise? It shouldn't be. And so that's what we're doing. This is going to be so pretty. All right, so I think this is my biggest one. Actually, I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to put it on this big flower here, which when I went live yesterday, I was saying that I wasn't sure whether this was a pansy or a hydrangea, and a lot of you guys said it's a hibiscus flower, so I don't know what it is, but it's It's pretty, and I just felt like doing something different. So I'm going to just start gluing these on in random spots. And this really only has 4 flowers, but I'm going to make it have 5 because I always think it looks better when you have an odd number. Put one right here. Pretend that there was a flower there, although there really wasn't. It's really cute, and the green all makes perfect sense. Okay, and I'm gonna put that one right there. Put this one right here. And I want one more of these little flowers made with one of these little shapes in a different green. So I'm gonna just grab one more flower. Let's do that one. You missed, what is the board? Oh, I'll show you in just a second. The board is a MDF. It's a piece of MDF. It's like a cutting board. It's what it's called. But I wouldn't really cut on it. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, and then I want to do something with the handle too. So, isn't that sweet? Oh my gosh, and it totally makes sense. All these different greens with these green stripes, and I left, notice I left 2 spots, just the natural color of the MDF. And this is, I think it's 24 by 13.75. It's called the MDF cutting board. You can get it from magnoliadiy.com. And when I'm all finished, if you just say link, I'll get you a direct link to this so you don't have to go to my website and hunt it down. Because sometimes it's hard to figure out where things are. So I'd be glad to give you a direct link. This is so cute. Of course, it has a ton of blue strings on it that I need to get off, which I will. But I want to add one more thing to the handle, and that is one of these flowers. So I'm just gonna put a blob of glue right there and stick that over the top. I have these extras that we didn't use. What do you guys think? Let's stand back. Isn't it cute? Other than the massive amounts of glue strings. I will get close-up pictures of this. And I'll put that in the comments. I think that turned out awesome. Okay, so let's start on the other one, which I have some ideas for this one too. And let me tell you what this is. This is called plaque. I can't remember what the size is. I feel like it's an 18-inch plaque, but I have a direct link to it that I can give you when I'm all finished. It has holes right here, so when I am all finished, I'll put a hanger on it. We're not going to do that right now. And I did basically the same thing as I painted 2 coats of this Waverly White acrylic chalk paint. Super affordable from I get mine at Walmart. You can use whatever kind or color of paint that you want. Then, like always, I sanded the surface down as best I could. I'm a really crummy painter, so there's a lot of ridges. And I took it outside and I gave it one coat of clear matte sealer spray so that when I put my stencil on, it will have a decent transfer. It'll look relatively sharp, other than the fact that I really am not a great painter. So this is a brand new stencil. Super cute. And we're going to do the same idea. This says enjoy the little things, and it's got this awesome flower with 2 little buds. We may end up making a fake one so that it can have an odd number of 3. And when I have a brand new stencil, the first thing I always do, where is my Sharpie? Here it is I always label the back of the carrier sheet, because it's important that you put your stencils back on the correct side, and sometimes it's hard to tell. So I'm just going to write enjoy, and when it's time to, when I've cleaned it and it's dry, I'll know not to put it on this side, I'll know to put it on the other side. The other thing is it's brand spanking new, and these green stencils from Magnolia are pretty darn sticky. Helga says she loves this stencil. Me too. Okay, Melissa Rose says bam, but I missed the context of that that statement, so I don't know what that means. I can't wait to sit down and read everything that you guys have to say, so I'll try to catch a comment here and there. Kim Hunter has a great question, and I get this question a lot. Okay, first thing is I'm fuzzing it on my tacky towel, but I could fuzz it on a t-shirt, on a low lint piece of khakis or pair of khakis or jeans, or this apron, just to make it a little bit less sticky than it would normally be. Okay, so Kim Hunter asked me a great question. And that question was, what do I do with all my projects? Oh boy, that's a really good question, because I am drowning currently in craft projects. A lot of them I like to hang on to because I want to be able to bring them back out and show them to you guys like in the future. So I do have a huge closet out here in the hall. It's like one of those walk-in closets, and it's filled from the floor to the ceiling of these big tubs. It's not very well organized, but it is filled with tubs of projects. And then a lot of things I give away. And I mean, I make a lot of things that are gifts for various people in my life. So that's basically what I do. Okay, so my stencil's on here really good. I'm going to use some black chalk paste. And I'm just going to stir it up. Let me grab my squeegee. It's over here. Let's try it out. Have I given away the napkins yet? Tony, I randomly selected the names of the two people who will be receiving the napkins from everybody who gave me their opinion about the question yesterday, and I will post that this afternoon. But yes, I've already selected the 2 people. I just haven't posted it yet. So, okay, so I just put some blobs of black chalk paste on here, and I'm going to just apply my chalk paste with the squeegee. I'm going to get everything covered. And then all I'm going to do is lift up, I always use too much, the excess blobs of chalk paste, and I'm going to put them back in my little pot, and I'll use that in the future. Okay, I hope this was good. Alrighty. And, oh gosh, look at my hands. I don't want to get this black all over my white painted board, so let me get this off. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We'll see. Oh my gosh. Okay, these flowers are almost too pretty, seriously, to cover up. But we are going to cover them up. But I'm going to come back and use this stencil again because it is beautiful. Look at this. Look at how awesome those flowers are. And there's a couple things about these stencils that I love. They're reusable many times. You can use chalk paste, ink. You can use etching cream. You can use torch cream. Don't ever use any kind of paint, chalk paint, acrylic paint, craft paint, latex paint. No paint, but chalk paste, ink, torch paste, etching cream, all those things are fine on it. You just wash them off quickly, let them dry with the sticky side up, put them back on the backing sheet, store them someplace good, and they will last a long time. And I could just do that flower on a project, or the whole thing, or just the words. There's tons of options. So let's set this aside for a moment so it can start drying while we move on to the flowers that I had in mind for this project. Okay, I was gonna go completely boring again. You could make a tray out of this. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, this is what I have in mind. I don't know what you think about that. I'm gonna show you how to do this style of flower. I just used this wired ribbon. And I was gonna do this style, which is the same thing basically. And I just used this burlap that I picked up a long time ago at Walmart. So let me show you with the with this ribbon first how to do it. All right. Okay, so each layer is going to be 4 circles that are folded into 4s. And you can make your circles as big or as little as you want. I'm going to make a little bit smaller this time around. I'm going to fold this into 4 pieces because it's easier to cut 4 pieces at one time. And I'm going to put a pin in the center, just hold it all together. My circles are never really a circle. They're really more of a weird oval. But, and I'm just going to eyeball this and cut a circle just by hand. Okay, here's 4 sort of circles. Let's do the same thing again. Let's do it a little bit smaller this time. I believe this ribbon came from Dollar Tree, but I wouldn't bet my life on that. I think that's where I got it. Or somebody sent it to me. I can't remember. I have so much ribbon. Okay, here's another one. And it's just a little bit smaller. In fact, I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller than this because I want it to be the next layer up. Okay, and then let's do one more. So I've just folded like an accordion fold my ribbon. And I do realize that this is kind of using a lot of this ribbon, more than I would need if I was taking my time and cutting each one out so I could conserve. But I want to get this cut out and show you this quickly. So normally I'm pretty darn frugal. I wouldn't want to waste that much ribbon. Okay, and then we need something to build it on. So let's just take a piece of the envelope, the natural envelope that I punched. And what we're gonna do to get started here is we're gonna fold each one of these circles in half and glue it down. And it doesn't have to, that's a terrible half. It doesn't matter, one single bit. And then I'm gonna fold it in half again. So we're making like little shapes of pie. Okay, so let's quickly do that. And you are for sure gonna get glue on your fingers during this part. So just make sure that you're using a low temperature hot glue gun. Especially with this thin ribbon that kind of wants to stick to your fingers. So what do you guys think so far? Stay with me because we're gonna put it on here, and I have another one to show you. And then you can embellish these however you want. That's the really fun part. Like on this one, I embellished it with one of those little wood flower, laser flower cutouts and a button. But you can do absolutely whatever appeals to you. You like my flowers? I make such cute ones. Oh, thank you, Sharon. That's super nice of you to say. I love making flowers. Honestly, I would make flowers every day, except I know that you guys would get really bored of that. And so I have to space in some other crafts that do not involve flowers here and there so that you're not totally sick of me and all my DIY flowers. And I'll probably come back after I'm all done with this, and I'll use my heat gun or a hair dryer to kind of melt all these crazy glue strings that are everywhere. Well, that was not a very good fold. But these ones where you don't fold them good, they kind of have some interest. See how bad I folded that one? Okay, we're almost there with this. I'm gonna have to turn on the fan in my craft room here because my lighting gets this room so smoking hot. Okay, I have 12 of these little folded things done. And we're gonna build it on just a piece of this natural paper. So I'm gonna start with the bigger ones, and I'm just gonna glue them like into the center. So they're all gonna kind of butt up to each other. This is 4 circles folded into fourths, glued on here. Now I'm going to start the next layer, and I'm just going to go slightly off so that I'm gluing it over where the break was. Does that make sense? Can you guys see that? Remember which ones were the next biggest size. These just look messy, so it really doesn't even matter. And then I'm going to do the same thing. One more time. This is the most ridiculous amount of glue strings. Oh my God. Okay, and this is what you have. And let's embellish it like we did the other one. Let me add a little flower in the center. And then we'll do a button. I don't want the same one. Let's take one of these and break it off and use this smaller flower. Put that here in the center. And then I'm using white buttons for this project. So let's look in my Vintage Mother of Pearl box for something small. Okay, I'm going to use that little teeny one right there. So it's just a little bit smaller. Wow, it really doesn't even look smaller. Got some of these excess strings off. I guess it is a little bit smaller than this one. Okay, and then let me show you the other one, which is fun too. It's the same thing. I'm just going to show you how to build 2 layers of this. It's the exact same process. This, it's like it's embroidered burlap. This was something I found at Walmart in the fabric department about 3 years ago. I haven't seen it lately, and this is all I have left of it. But, okay, I'm going to fold this into a 4th right here, so I can cut 4 pieces all at once. And I'm not planning anything specific around where these little embroidered dots are. It's just totally random. Okay, here's 4 pieces. And let's do 4 more that are slightly bigger. So do you guys like this idea of adding like a second or third dimension to these floral projects by actually making flowers that we kind of put over the top of the flowers that are in the images? I hope you do. I was asking my husband before I came live today, because he's so smart. He got a degree in geology and engineering. And anyways, I was asking him, what's the difference between 2G and 3G? Or 3D, 2D and 3D. Because I was trying to decide whether this project should be called 2D or should it be called a 3D project? And we could not agree. So if you know the answer, tell me in the comments. Is that 2D or is it 3D? It has the flowers that kind of jump out. Okay, and we need something to build this on, so let's build it on another little thing here. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're just gluing our little burlap into these little pieces of pie. I don't think there's a front or a back to this burlap, so I don't think it matters which way I fold it. I probably will come back for this, stay with me, but I probably will come back and do either a beaded white and natural hanger or something interesting to make it have an interesting hanger. Oh, and I want to show you this sign over here. I love this shape. This is what it looks like when you get it. It's MDF. It's got 2 coats of white paint on it. Okay, so I also made this like several years ago, and this is hanging it here in my craft room. It's one of my all-time favorite projects. It's the same piece. So this is a great shape to start any project with, I think. And it's called a plaque, a MDF plaque. And if you just say link in the comments, then as soon as I'm finished, I will get you some direct links that take you right straight to the things that I used today, so you don't have to, you know, hunt for an hour to find what was that thing that she used. It'll just take you directly there. Okay, we're almost there. You can see how quick and easy these fold and glue into little pieces of pie. And I like the ends of the burlap kind of frayed, so I'm not going to worry about these little pieces that are wanting to poke out and fall off. All right, which were the bigger ones? I think these were them. Okay, so I'm going to just use this shape right here to glue my pieces onto. And there's the first layer. So it's 4 circles that are folded 4 times into this little pieces of pie. And then I'm going to glue the next layer on. right? See how it makes it kind of stick out? And then you can ruffle and fluff and fray these up however much you want. And let's do something interesting just by adding like a pretty button, a pretty, ooh, that would be pretty. This is a beautiful vintage mother of pearl button. Okay, so I have these two, and I have these two. And let's bring our sign over and fiddle around with it for a minute. Let's see if this is dry. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, maybe I'll just do two, because I tell you what, it looks fine. I mean, I could do two that are the same design, but I think it would be better to do two that are different. So I'm going to do this. And we could always throw another, or maybe I'll put something on the hanger, I don't know. Anyways, I usually have a strict rule of doing my doodads, accessories in odd numbers. But in this instance, I think two works better. So let's just put some glue on here. Do the same thing right here. So cute. And once I get the hanger on it, it's going to be adorable. So I'll do a hanger that looks something similar to this one right here. And we could, I'm going to have to look at it as usual and ponder it overnight, usually is what I like to do, to decide if I want to add anything else to it. But what do you guys think? Which way is it better? Isn't that cute? It looks unfinished because it doesn't have the hanger on the top. But, so these were the two projects that we made. And I want to know what you guys think. Did you like these? I love this one. I love this green and natural combination. You know, I could have run this jute right along here as well. I could have done more in green. So there's tons of options. So this is a big MDF cutting board that you can get from MagnoliaDIY.com. And this is a MDF plaque you can get from MagnoliaDIY.com. And then the stencils, it was the Flower Market stencil that I used on this one, and then the Enjoy the Little Things on the other one. And then I just used some plain black chalk paste. Then some buttons, some little wood doodads, some of this burlap ribbon or burlap fabric or this ribbon. Honestly, oh, and these were the two paint colors in case you're wondering. This is called Fern and it's Waverly Chalk Acrylic Paint. I get mine at Walmart. This one is called White Waverly Chalk Acrylic Paint, matte finish, no prep, that I also get from Walmart. So that's basically what these projects involved. I hope you liked the new flowers that we did. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. if you're going to give me one, you'll take the paddle. You know what? I'm not going to shipping. Shipping is like, what kind of a box would I find to put this in? I don't know. I'm going to probably put it in my kitchen because I think it's so cute. And it could kind of go with some of the greens that I have going on in there. Anyways, I hope you liked these projects and got some good ideas on how you can take a stencil on a surface and make it really like come to life by adding some dimension in the form of flowers. And just let me know if you want links or if you have questions. Feel free to sprinkle. Know that these stencils are all reusable many times. So for example, I could just use the outside frame of this one, cute one. I could just use the flower market and this. I could use these words somewhere else. I could just do the watering can. There's so many different things that you can do with them. And if you take good care of them, they're going to last a very long time. So they're a great investment in your crafting closet of supplies. All right, thanks for joining me. Do a this or a this. Check to see, seriously, if you've liked and followed this page. Because surprisingly, a lot of people have not. I see them on here all the time, but when I go to look, it still says that they haven't liked or followed this page, which means most likely they're not seeing very much that I'm doing. Is close to my heart the same company? Nope, I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's stamps or something. These are stencils, surfaces, tools, chalk paste, ink. And this company that I'm telling you about right now is called Magnolia Design Company. And my website is magnoliadiy.com. Okay. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining me. Be looking for pictures later. I'll ponder this probably overnight, finish this one up tomorrow, and I'll let you know how it turns out. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.